What's up, guys? In this video for Outlier, we're going to be looking at the tackles plus assist prop, one of my favorite ones for the NFL. We've done a bunch of videos on other props, so make sure you guys check that out and comment any props that we don't cover if you want me to make a video on them. So let's get right into it. I'm going to be looking at the last 10 for filter, and once again, you could filter through any specific games, sportsbook, minimum odds. If you want the overs only or the unders only or both, don't click anything for that, and include alternative lines as well. One thing that I really do like is some books such as Bet365 allow you to do alternative tackles plus assists. I've done many same game parlays with them, and I love doing those because they've been so cash recently, and especially the end of last season. So let's scroll over to it. It's near the end of all props. On the top, we take a look, we'll see tackles and assists right here. And I already went through and found one of my favorite ones upcoming, and it's going to be over here, Brisker over 6.5 tackles and assists. And that it's actually at plus 110, which is great value. And you can take a look at all the different books and see what the value is for those as well. So let's take a look. We're going to start off by looking at 2022 stats, and then we'll look at the first game of this season. So start of 2022, he wasn't getting many. He wasn't covering this line very well. He was actually, I believe, 1 for 6 to start the season. And if we take a look near that latter half of the season, especially the last 5 or 6 games, he was covering this line pretty well. Had a couple of games with 9+ tackles and assists, 7, 8, and 10 in his last 3 games of 2022. So we can look at some supporting stats such as missed tackles. Obviously, it sucks to see your guy get missed tackles because that is just wasted opportunity to get some tackles and assists. So he averaged more missed tackles at the start of the season, 2-2-0-0-2, and then that latter half of the season barely had any missed tackles. He averaged 1 blitz per game, and he was averaging 3.2 defensive targets per game last season. The more defensive targets, the higher chance of tackles and assists. So as we see, the start of last season, he had 7 defensive targets first game, and he only got 4 tackles and assists, which is just really unlucky. But then the other games where he was only having 6, 5, 5, 5 tackles and assists, he didn't have many defensive targets. And then as we see that latter half, especially those last few games of the season, he had 3, 5, 3 defensive targets, some more chances for tackles and assists. What we're going to do next is look at the 2023 stats. First game of 2023, he covered right on the dot, got exactly 7 tackles and assists, which is good to see for going on the over. And what we're going to do is look, he only had 1 missed tackle. Obviously, missed tackle isn't good. He could have had 8 tackles and assists. He wasn't getting many missed tackles last season, so it is unfortunate that he had one. But that's kind of a good sign that he got 7 and still had a missed tackle. He had 5 defensive targets as well, which is a very good sign. Obviously, the matchup matters a lot, but what we're going to do is actually look at the defense for TB, tackles, and assists. And what we're going to see is they rank 22nd in tackles against and 26th in assists against. And green means that that's good for our props, so they're ranked on the higher end. They allow a good amount, or a really high amount of assists, 25.5 per game, and a pretty high amount of tackles, 43.9 per game. So this all leads to me looking at the over 6.5 and liking it a good amount based off of his last performances in 2022, his defensive targets, and then also his performance in his first game this season. Matchup looks really good as well. We can take a look at any injuries, and then what you could do is also look at the Buccaneers defense. Not many stats that will really help us in this category, but tackles for loss, they're averaging 5.2, and yeah, guys, that's the stats I really like to look at for tackles and assists. It's a great prop, and maybe I'll come on here in a future video and show you guys same game parlay alternatives and show you how I like to do data for that for tackles and assists. But that's it for this video. Make sure you guys like and comment and subscribe to the YouTube and get your 7-day free trial for Outlier. Do not miss out on these NFL props. Get your free trial, and we'll see you in the next videos.